All right, everybody, welcome. Today's topic is trash cans on the boat and how to integrate trash cans onto the boat. I know it's not quite the sexiest topic, but I think everyone can relate to being on the boat and finishing up a sandwich or a granola bar and going, hey dude, where do I put this?
Right.
And ended up with this beautiful boat that there's trash shoved in corners and in a bucket.
Right, trying to avoid throwing it out in the environment, right?
So what do you do? What do you do on your boat?
Yeah, so I've actually got two hatches at the back of my boat that I use. I have like it's an oil well, so I'll either throw something in the back, and if I'm going to get up and run, then I'll open up that back hatch, and by the end of the day, I've got all the different cans and wrappers and everything back in there that I'll just pull out and throw into a trash bag.
Gotcha. So, why don't you show us some products? These are pretty cool. These Caddy Cans we want to talk about that are really good ways to integrate trash storage.
So we've actually got two different sizes of this. This is the smaller size. This is the Caddy Can Junior, and really good product. It's got a zipper top on top of it that you can see. There's a little bit of an insert here that you're able to reach in and toss either a crushed can or a water bottle or any wrappers from trash.
How does it mount to the boat?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the back here, you'll see there's a carry strap that they've given, but also there's 4 different access straps that you can strap around. An extrusion of a T-top. This is Velcro, so you can open it up and accepts probably up to 2-inch pipe. Again, you can mount it across a crossbar, or this other one here, it looks like it mounts the other way, so you're able to
oh, that's cool.
So
this is your horizontal extrusion and this is your vertical extrusion down here.
So the nice thing about this one is that it's very functional for a lot of center consoles, hanging it on any of the crossbars of the T-top. On the inside, when this opens up, you'll see it's got a pretty heavy-duty zipper here that's made for the marine environment. And inside there's this collapsible waste bin, right? So you can see that collapses down. So for storage when you're not running, everything folds down. It's pretty tight and compact. When you get out of the boat, you can take this out, take it up to the trash bin. It's got a nice little drawstring on the top of it. Again, I think this smaller one holds up to 30 crushed cans or water bottles, somewhere around there. And then we do also have, I'll slide this over as well, a larger one, right? So this is the original Caddy Can, which I think holds up to 50 crushed cans or water bottles.
I didn't see it on the website, I just checked, but those numbers sound close for sure.
Similar design, same thing, comes with a carry strap. You've got the same way that it'll go to a horizontal or vertical extrusion. Really unique design. Again, a good concept. I think the only disadvantage is, this one is a little bit bulky, so if you're putting it on the side of a T-top and you have a narrow passageway between the gunnels of the boat, the disadvantage would be that every time you're going around, you're trying to get around this bag, or alternatively, if you're hanging it off the front of the T-top, a lot of times you have a seat up there where your passengers are sitting. So, I don't know that this is the best, but again, a really functional option to give you somewhere to store trash on the boat.
Well, the big nice thing, though, is that there's zero customization to the boat, right? I mean, you're not drilling any holes, you're not mounting anything new. It's a relatively low cost. I think the big one is, about $50 maybe, and the small one is $40. I think that's about right. So affordable, zero customization.
Made out of good materials, right? I feel really good about the canvas that it's made out of. The zipper's really nice on it. They've got some really nice stitching. It's not something that I would definitely say is going to fall apart in relatively any early time frame. So
here's some pictures, right? And so some common applications. So this is just a part of the T-top, right, that there's tying it off to, and you can see how he's taken the inner liner out in that case. There's some other ones. Let's see. Same kind of deal, right? Taking it off, putting it on for the day. So pretty slick design. It's a newer part on the website that so far has gotten really good feedback from everyone we've talked to. So I want to show you another one. It's another budget option. It does require mounting something to your to the boat, and this isn't rocket science. It's a kind of a Rubbermaid bin style trash can. But what's cool about this is in the back there's tooling to accept this little it's just a male female slides right on. Yeah, it's just like a clip, right? So you mount this clip to the back of a door or inside of your console, or really anywhere you have some flat fiberglass that you can screw into, and then this clip just slides up over, and this thing now hangs and locks into place. So it's called the Hang It Mate trash can. I think this whole unit with the clips and everything is in the $35-$40 ballpark, so relatively similar. Advantages, disadvantages compared to that: you don't have any kind of inner liner, right? If you wanted to put a trash bag, you'd have to do your own trash bag, or if you're okay taking the whole bin off and dumping it, maybe you don't need a trash bag. Does require permanent mount, whereas this one doesn't, but probably there's some places you could put this that you couldn't put that, right? You couldn't put the Caddy Can on the back of a console door, for example.
Right.
Whereas this is totally a great application for that. Hey, the open area in my console, I don't use it. I'm just going to mount this on the back of the door, open it up.
I really like that for that, right? I mean, everybody knows that if the best case scenario right now, you're usually hanging a trash bag inside of your console door. That's, I know when I go out with my buddy Christian, we do the same thing, and every time you open the console door, the bag swings out and you go to slam
and it's closed. You're having to pull it open.
Exactly. So I really like this application. You have two clips that are in there that are not very invasive. You can hang the bag or the trash can on there. I think it's a really good option.
Cool. So, one of the things that we mentioned at the beginning is a lot of people will use just a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket, which is fine. It's not the most attractive thing. But one thing you can do to make it a little more functional is we have a product called the Litter Bin Bucket Top Trash Can Lid. And so here you can see what it is. It's pretty simple, right? It's just a flexible rubber cap. But the big thing is when you're using a bucket as your trash bin, a lot of times when you go ahead and run after filling that up with cans or bottles or wrappers for whichever, stuff flows out.
Yeah.
So this stops that, fixes that. Very low cost thing. You're talking about $10, but makes a typical 5-gallon bucket much more functional as a trash can while running the boat.
Yeah, and actually in the photo that you've got pulled up here, this I saw was pretty unique. You've got some rig ballyhoo there. So the nice thing is that you're able to put those in there, keep them out of the sun, and you've got your wire leaders hanging on each of those little areas that you're able to expand it to get trash in there. So a lot of functionality for the bucket, right, that everybody has usually on the boat. I think this is a pretty cool part as well.
So that gets us through kind of the standard low dollar, less than $50. Hey, cool, I'm adding this to this boat, and it makes it that much more functional. But we do a lot of integration of trash can storage into a lot of the manufactured storage units that we do. And there's a variety of samples. It's a little bit too large of stuff. Generally, we build these on demand, so we don't have them on hand. But let's look at some very simple ones. Here's an example. This is what is effectively just a standard access door that hinges on the bottom, but we've built a small container on the back that houses a Rubbermaid bin. You can see it's just your typical Rubbermaid wastebasket. We have some other simple ones that are, let's see, looks very similar, except we've built a shell off of the back so that if anything falls behind it, it's captured inside of that. It looks like the Rubbermaid bin in this case is a little bit larger. We've got some pull-out ones. Here's a very similar deal. This is like a drawer unit, but the drawer unit's already sized and the starboard is cut in the top to perfectly house this Rubbermaid bin. So now you have a pull-out trash can drawer. Obviously, this is on a completely different level from an expense perspective compared to the other things that we've looked at. But the big pro of them is that it's integrated. It doesn't look like an afterthought, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with these products.
The advantage of that, right, is that even from an aftermarket side, installing these is if you do have some space that you can open up near the gunnel or where you'd put an access door. Now you're relieving some of the. I used to put all this stuff inside my console, and now I can't really use my console throughout the day because every time I open the door, the trash bag flies out and it gets in the way, and every time I close it, now you've got somewhere where it's integrated within the boat. And again, it's not necessarily an afterthought. If you do have any of that depth requirement, this is a good option to dedicated space for trash that you're not using somewhere else for the boat.
Yeah, and say you're taking out an ice maker. Say you don't use your boat for fishing, right? Which we tend to be heavy on the fishing boat side, but we got plenty of customers that just use their boat for cruising, and spending time on the water. Say you don't use an ice maker because the ice is nasty. That takes up a lot of space. That ice maker, that refrigerator. This would be a good idea to put something like this in here, because if you just put a door over it, you kind of go, well, the area sometimes might be unfinished, right? It's unfinished fiberglass, or maybe it's finished, but there's nothing containing anything. I can't put anything in there because it'll roll up or down, So this is a good option for someone that's in that situation. One thing we do see that is good is that a lot of the boat builders are starting to think about incorporating trash can storage in the storage units that we're building for them. And we have a couple of cool examples that we want to show. Let's flip over here. And this is a pull-out drawer unit that we do for Scout. You can see it's very similar to the other one. The starboard is cut to retain this. You can see that there's this front edge and this back edge. So this thing just sits perfectly seated down in that area. We've got another one that we do for Boston Whaler.
And they're just making really good use in that last picture. They're making really good use of what would otherwise be dead space, right? So you can see in that picture you've got the helm seat up in front, and behind it, you've got a chair, right? So you've got the grill up top and you've got this extra room. Why not have somewhere where you can store the trash?
Absolutely. And on the Boston Whaler one here, here's actually a drawing. This is a part we built for Boston Whaler. You can see this has this upper storage unit. I'm not sure exactly what this is. It looks like it might almost be like a battery compartment, like a battery switch or something like that.
Right.
But this lower area pulls out, and there's this opening that's notched for a trash bin with this landing to sit on. And here is this part installed. This is a part we build for Boston Whaler. So we're doing a lot of different integration of trash can storage in the context of a bigger box. And let's look at some of those that we've done for Boat Outfitters customers. Let's see if we can find some good ones here. This is a crazy one. Let's see what this one is. This is a big ol' unit that you can see we've loaded up this whole left side with Plano tackle trays. You've got this open workbench type area with a tool holder and some leader spools, and down at the bottom we're adding a tilt-out trash can. So if you're working with us on any tackle box or storage box and want to try to incorporate a trash can into it, that's very much so inside the realm of our core competency and what we're doing on a daily basis.
I really like this one. I mean, it looks like a kind of a freestanding rigging station, right? You've got everything you need with your Plano trays on the left-hand side. You've got that cool pull-out drawer with the leader spools there. I can really imagine somebody on a larger boat working the deck, getting everything ready. You've got that fold-down cutting board. You're rigging up your different baits, and as you're cutting off the tag end of any of your lines, you're able to quickly just pull out that tilt-out trash can, drop any of that excess waste in there. I think that's a really, really cool design on that box.
So check out some other ones. Let's see. This is just a guy who it looks like we were doing probably a build your own door for, and we figured out, or this is Scout. So this is another tilt-out box that we've done for Scout, where they just had the additional depth. So as opposed to doing a drawer and just having this open catch-all area, we go ahead and we mounted a trash can to the back of it.
What percentage of boat builders would you say now are really thinking about trash can space? Do you feel like it's by boat builder, or do you feel like it's more so the size of the boat, right? As they go down the checklist, I know I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this, and where do you think trash cans right now kind of fall on that? Do you have any insight?
It's tough to say. We're a little bit disconnected. We'll switch back here. We're a little bit disconnected. So Boat Outfitters is the aftermarket retail division of Teak Isle Manufacturing, and Teak Isle builds parts for the boat builders. I don't talk to them specifically about trash cans to know that. I think it is, like you say, more a function of size.
Right.
But you see the trend where center console boats keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're going, how can they keep getting bigger, right?
Yes.
And so you're getting more builders that are incorporating trash cans. They have the room to incorporate something like trash. Where as you get smaller, you start to go, it'd be nice to have that, but I need to make sure I have plenty of tackle storage.
I got to store my batteries on the boat, or else I can't start it.
Right. So you start to get the luxury of there's room for some of this stuff, and I think that's why we see more of the boat builders doing it, is just because they do have more room.
And on the pontoon side, probably, right? I mean, I think it's a function of the boat, right? So you think of center console market more so for fishing. You still have trash, but as the boats that are built for cruising, trash cans probably come in. You're probably eating and drinking more on the boat than you would when you're fishing.
Sure.
So just the amenities probably determined by the style of the boat, not just the size as well.
Yeah, and with the pontoon boat, you're not looking for really as much tackle storage as a general rule. One thing we've done that's relatively new is for the pontoon market specifically is replacing the pop-up changing stations that are typically mounted in the back of the like the rear seating. You've got your seating, and then you've got that one
the reclining
against
seat.
The reclining seat backs. A lot of times there's pop-up changing tables. we've done some different units that had like wine racks and drawer units, but then we've also done a tilt-out trash can one. I mean,
Right.
I think you generate more trash on a pontoon boat maybe than any other style of boat. So having
Party
a place,
time.
party time. But the long and short, the big takeaway, there's not much more to talk about. It again, it's not a sexy topic, but it's a very functional, practical topic. The long and short of it is we have some very inexpensive. Hey, look, plug and play. This is going to work great for you. Add a trash can, clamp it onto a rail, screw it to the back of the door. Plug and play ways to add trash storage to your boat. But then also, if you're interested in working with us on a custom storage unit, I want you to know that this is an option, and this is something that we're doing regularly. Is there anything else you can think of that's worth talking about?
No, I think it's we really covered it. If there's other unique storage units out there that you guys have questions about, don't hesitate to reach out. That's it.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we appreciate it. Let us know in the comments here if there's any other topics. We're always looking for new topics, things that you think bring value. If you have any questions about this or anything else, post that in the comments. We're monitoring them, and we would be happy to help. But otherwise, we really appreciate it. Thanks, and have a great day.